Hi, this is Tim Grage and welcome to another episode of Phronesis. We have been talking about switching containers. This has been so profound. So many lives have been touched. So many destinies have been affected. If you've missed any of these parts, I think we're on episode 5 now of this particular series. If you've missed any of it, you can go to the Phronesis Africa YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, P.Tim, and gain access to this information. It will bless you. So Paul, speaking about the mind, divides the mind for us into two parts. There is the content of the mind, and then there's the container of the mind, and they do two different things. The content of the mind creates an event, whereas the container of the mind creates a cycle or a pattern. The content of the mind creates an activity, whereas the container of the mind creates a habit. When we speak about the content of the mind, we're talking about what you are thinking about. But when we speak about the container of the mind, we're speaking about why you think like that. Let's say a person is obese and the person wants to lose weight. If all the person does is just engage in activities to help them lose weight, and we see this all the time, they might even succeed in losing weight, but after a period of time, they find themselves gaining the weight back. Why? Because they changed the content of the mind, but they did not change the container. Jesus puts it this way. He said that it is like putting new wine in old wineskin. At first, it will look fine. Everything will be fine. They're losing the weight, and they've reached their target weight. And then all of a sudden, it's a little here, it's a little there, it's a little there. Something here happens, blah, 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 and they gain the weight back. Sometimes it's even worse off. They gain more weight than before. Why? Because like Jesus said, when you put new wine in old wineskin, it says the old wineskin, it's inflexible. It is inflexible. And so the wine will expand and it will break the wineskin. The same thing here. If we are going to experience change, lasting change, habitual change, where success has become a pattern, a certain level of success has become a pattern and not an event, a certain level of elevation has become a pattern and not an event, guess what? It will be because we did not just change the content of this bottle, but we changed the bottle altogether. This is where this whole series and what this whole series has been about. Now, I have also now mentioned one of the steps necessary to expand or change the size of this bottle, in this case of your mind. And I can't dwell on it anymore, but we looked at it last week where we addressed the missing link as it relates to meditation. Many people are confessing, but there is a missing link that they are not adding to that confession, and so they are not rewriting the script that their subconscious is playing out. Remember, today I was driving, we have moved offices, but today as I was driving to the office, guess what? I began to drive towards my old office. Why? Because I've been driving to my old office for years. And that's the thing about the subconscious. The subconscious takes you to the familiar space. Look, you could introduce a new thought, but if you have not rewritten the script that your subconscious is playing, the subconscious is wired to take you to a familiar space. Have you been there before? Have you noticed that when you are going to a place that you are familiar with, you can go there without thinking? But when you are going to a place you have not been before, have you noticed that you engage your conscious mind? You engage your conscious mind. You engage your conscious mind so that you pay attention to the road, so that you don't make the wrong turning. The same thing here. If we do not rewrite the script in our subconscious, we will keep replaying negative patterns or old patterns that we want to do away with. And this is why changing, and I taught you on this for the last 2 weeks, actually, I focused on this, the missing link, the extra step that you can take to biohack, to go deep into your subconscious so that you don't just rewrite the thoughts in your mind, which will create an immediate result. It's an event, but the event will fade. You can rewrite the script in your subconscious so that you keep replaying that event till it's no longer an event. It's now an experience. It's now a constant experience. But step number 2, after you've done the one that I taught you last week, which is on meditation, it is the right relationships. Right relationships will change your life forever. There is a popular research, you should have heard of it. They say that your current financial state, for example, is the average of the top 5 people you spend the most of your time with. Why? Because if you have become the sharpest pencil in that pencil case has become too small, and you are going to limit your ability to expand. If you are not surrounded by people who are operating consistently at the level that you desire to operate, whether it's to have a great marriage, whether it's to build a bigger business, whether it's to change your current income status, whether it's to live a holier life, to pray longer, to fast longer. If your current circle are not filled with people, or is not filled with people that actually operate there as a lifestyle, you will struggle to maintain that lifestyle. If everybody in your current circle is either at your level or operating less than what you want to operate in, then you will actually not even remain at your level. You will actually begin to drop. It is necessary for you to become connected to individuals, deliberately so, that are pushing and bench pressing at the level you want to bench press in life, whatever that area of your life might be. I remember finding myself in a situation where there was a change that I needed in my life, and I saw that nobody in my life at that point in time was pulling those results. I have had to pay certain people money to sit with me, buy their time to sit with me, because I could see that they were too busy for me to get an appointment with them. So I paid them for their time to sit with me on a continuous basis, so that I could begin to glean, just by virtue of that exposure, begin to glean from their consistent level of success. And guess what? I noticed that it became easier and easier for me to operate at that same level. So we see Saul, the one that became King Saul, he spends time with Samuel, who was already the judge of the entire nation. In a short while, Saul becomes the king of the entire nation. It's not by chance. The reason why Saul was sent to Samuel is because this was a man that was already operating at that level. The problem with Saul, though, when he became king, he did not continue his relationship with the one that had already been operating at that level. He goes back and he relates with the people that he has always related with, and guess what? He loses the kingdom. When you as a king, and you are now the king, you are the head honcho in that environment, and there is no one challenging you, you will begin to regress. And so Saul regressed. If he had stayed with Samuel, someone who was always operating at that level of integrity, operating at that level of leadership, guess what? Saul would have sustained the kingdom. It is necessary for you to do an audit of your current relationship and begin to say, this is the change I need in my marriage. This is the change I need in my business. This is the change I need in my walk with God. This is the change I need in my prayer life. I need to be able to fast more. And then ask yourself, who is pulling those results? They might not let you immediately into their circle, but you need to become deliberate. If you will become deliberate to force your way and meander your way into their circle, you will notice by default, you will upgrade your standard. Do you want to change the capacity? And that's what I'm going to deal with now, this issue of capacity. Do you want to change the capacity of your mind so that you can accommodate more, do more for God, achieve more, experience more? Change your current relationship. Do a relationship audit and bring yourself into the room of people that don't experience what you desire as events. Bring yourself into the room of people that experience what you desire as a way of life. It will change your life. If this has been helpful, make sure you share this information, both the times, our TBN times, but also the information that is, because this will also be present on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you share that as well. This has been Tim Grage, Senior Pastor of the City of Zion, saying, switch containers. God bless you. Catch you again soon.